y'all. Oh my God, I didn't see. I didn't see. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Monday. Good morning, Steph. Good morning. Good morning, Coco. Good morning. How are y'all doing? Happy Monday. For those of you guys who celebrate, happy holiday. And if you don't, shit, just rest. Good morning. So, Alexis is supposed to be joining us from Ghana. She is an NBDA member. Good morning. Good morning, y'all. But in the meantime, if you guys are meeting me for the very first time, my name is Tracy Collins. I'm the CEO and the founder of the NBDA. I'm moving close to the phone because I want to make sure I catch any questions or comments or anything before Alexis joins us. Alexis, if you are here, please send a request to join the live. But this is also my time where I try to be consistent and get on and talk to you guys and connect with you guys. What's up, Savannah? Hi, Doula Me Right. Good morning, Miss Sherrod. I hope I said that right. So, hey, lady. Okay, I see you. So let's welcome Alexis into the room. It's important that folks know what's happening over there. That's why I was like, Alexis, you have got to join us. Morning. Hi. Hold on. I want to make sure I hear you. Oh, child, my volume was so low. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. What time is it over there?
It is 2 p.m.
Yeah. Okay, so 4 hours ahead. I thought you were 3 hours ahead.
4.
So, you guys, this is Alexis. She is an NBDA member and she is in Ghana doing great things, like really, really great things. And I want you guys to take the opportunity to meet her, and know the strides she is making in Ghana. So, Alexis, I am going to hand it over to you so people can know what the hell is going on out there. So, just in case they want to, pack up and move like you did,
Right.
they have a community. Okay.
Right. Hello, everyone. My name is Alexis Sabbs. It is so nice to meet all of you. I'm an NBDA member. And thank you to Ms. Collins for inviting me to your live.
Did you say
Um,
Miss Collins? Like, just Tracy.
right. Ms. Collins. Just a little backstory. I actually started off in social work. I went to college for social work and I was in the mental health field. And around 2017, I actually had my son. And due to the care of my provider, of course, I needed to shift my field of training and go to where I needed to be utilized. So that's where I found out and made the decision to become a doula. Now, even further backstory, I've always wanted to be an OBGYN. So this was my key into, yay, I made it, but not so much. I didn't want to go that route because, child, once I found out about that schooling and all those years, it was a done deal. So I was able to train with Herbal, the Holistically Empowered Rebel Birthing Academy of Learning. And I trained with them in 2019 and was certified as of October 2019. So prior to COVID, I had about 4 or 5 clients. Boom, COVID hit. And I was like, okay, well, now I'm pregnant with child number 2. So I couldn't get back into the swing of things as far as getting back with clients and all of that. And then around the same time, once I had my son, about 5 months later, we hit the road. Well, we hit a plane and came straight to Ghana.
So
So
I'm gonna pause you right there. What was your factors into the reason why you guys decided to relocate to?
So I've always wanted to go to Africa. I always wanted to see it, to live on the continent, to just see with my own eyes because, the agenda that we get growing up and, oh, Africa is just a safari and it's third world countries and it's just pretty much no man's land. I just knew better. I knew
Mm-hmm.
better and I wanted to see it for myself. And so when I met my husband, he was the exact same way. So we agreed, on our second day, we was like, no, we're going to do this. We're going to Africa. So we planned overtime, packing up the kids, all that stuff, saved as much as we could, sold everything, and left.
Mm.
Ghana. Peaceful transition of power. The dollar stretches super far. It's a very peaceful nation. You can come here and start businesses, and it's not like, a hassle. So Ghana was the place for us to come.
Good. So tell the folks what you're doing out there in Ghana.
So because I was already a doula when I was in the States, I did not want to stop that work. So once I got here, of course, I'm a networking kind of person. That's just a social worker in me. I like to meet people. I like to network. You have something that, can benefit me. I have something that can benefit you. Let's work together, all that good stuff. So when I got here, I went to, setting up events to meet birth workers, calling people, hey, do you know a midwife? I met like 4 midwives, went to doula meetups, all that stuff. This is like the first 90 days of me being here. So I was just hitting the ground running. And finally, I met these 2 midwives and a labor and delivery nurse. And the labor and delivery nurse is from North Carolina, and the other 2 midwives are Ghanaian. So we got together. We was like, you know what? We all have the same goals, have the same ideas. We're all like-minded. Let's do a business together. Let's put our work to use. So from that point, I started volunteering at a maternity clinic. So here, they don't have like birth centers. They have maternity clinics, that are like standalone clinics that you can come, get your checkups, your antenatal care, all that. And you can have a baby there. Just come in, I'm in labor, you're on the table, have your baby.
Mm-hmm.
So to the clinic. Now, not to be shiesty, not to be shady, not to put down Ghana, but if Shut This S Down was a facility, many of them are that way compared to an standard. Like the cleanliness, the staff, the supports, it's just not there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So like not critiquing, but like fixing a lot of things. Like, okay, if y'all not gonna clean this up, give me some gloves and I'll clean. Or if you wash your hands between patients, you know what, I will, give me some gloves and give me the whole box and I'm gonna change my gloves. Or if you're just gonna sit here and kiki and not talk to her about what she can do to help her breastfeed and to help with all these different things, we can just find another place to go. So I found a lot of that kind of stuff. So I figured, you know what? We're going to get together, the nurse and the 2 midwives, and we're going to provide a mobile maternity care clinic. So that's our goal for right now. We're going to get together. We have been looking so far at 2 different companies that actually provide like a mobile facility where you can drive this facility around, take it wherever, like a one-stop shop kind of thing. So we are applying for right now to help get that, since we're still, 2 of us are still American citizens. We can apply for like US aid, which we definitely are, and fingers crossed, we hope we get it. But that's the goal, to just, go to the underserved areas, take our clinic with us, serve the moms and families that need to be served, and take it from there.
So a couple of things are coming to mind. So one of the things that we're going to do, you guys, we're going to leave this live up on our IG platform for a little bit. We'll also put it on our YouTube channel. And you guys are in need of funding to make this happen, number one, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And so, and how much are like doulas and midwives in need over there? Because one of the things that I've been emphasizing, especially with the mass exodus that's happening amongst Black people from the US, is that you can do this work anywhere. And I think that you are a perfect example of that. So can you speak to the demand and the need that's over there and what that looks like as far as how they will be able to start their business as they transition like you did, if that is something that they're wanting to do?
Okay. So, like you said, you can do this work anywhere in the world. Now, do the people where you're going know about it? 99% of the time, no. When I got here, the midwife that I volunteered with thought I was a nurse. And we had to sit down, on several occasions, and I had to remind her, listen, I am a doula. I'm a support companion. I'm a birth coach. I help moms in labor, get them through labor, help them with techniques, positioning. Like, I had to bare bone it for her to let her know I'm not a nurse. Don't ask me to get out. and open it and close it. Don't ask me to give her Vicodin because I'm not going to do that because I cannot do that.
Right.
So I had to sit down a couple of times and go over that. And so it was an educational matter. She did not know, and even the people that at the clinic did not know as well.
Okay,
So
so
they
I'm
were
gonna
just
stop
like,
you. I'm gonna pause you right there. So that within itself is like there's a ton of need for education, correct? Even
oh,
amongst
yeah,
the birthing professionals that are there.
yes,
So there is a need and a demand for people who are especially in birth education to get over there and set up shop, even as consultants or how you go about childbirth education within that field.
yes,
Okay,
absolutely.
okay.
And here they don't call it childbirth education. They actually send you to what they call pregnancy school. So it's where the midwife pretty much does childbirth education, but in the sense of the culture. So it's
Mm-hmm.
more cultural expectations and how birth should go and all that, instead of like how we do in the US, the what to expect when expecting, or the cultural norms, as well as the educational component of what's to happen, your informed consent, what you can do, will you be in the room by yourself, is it allowed for your partners to be there, just all those things.
That's so good. That's so good. Okay, so there's the educational component that needs to happen amongst the professionals themselves and then also the birthing people, correct?
Yes.
And then can you talk about like the cultural norms over there in Ghana and how they differ from here in the US?
Yeah, so from what I've seen so far, because I've been volunteering, I say, since April-ish at this clinic. I took August off because here the kids get a month per quarter off for the year. So my son is at home for a month. Whew, help me, Lord. Um, but but the cultural norms that I've seen thus far, the moms are separated at birth, the mom and the father, or the mom and the family. At the maternity clinic that I'm at, she's sent to, if she calls and comes in, in labor, she's sent to, I can't call it the triage room, but she's sent to like a laboring room with like 3 or 4 other mothers with 4 other beds. So it's like 4 women in a room, everybody's in labor, and everybody else is just kind of walking around.
Mm,
Nobody's tending them, nobody's, in there. How are you doing? Do you need water? I need you to turn on your side because you've been on this side too long. I need you to get up and walk. Have you vomited yet? Is there something here for you to vomit in? Just the basic necessities. Everybody else is walking around doing, the job they were already doing before the moms got there. So nobody's tending to them. That's problem number one. When they finally are like in active labor, ready to be in transition, they walk them to the delivery room, which I'm like, why weren't they in there already instead of in this holding room per se? So they walk them to the delivery room, and when I tell you the table is not even the size of a massage table, it is like when I walked in for the first time and saw it, like I was heartbroken because it's like this, they call it a theater. It's like this room about the size of an office. And there is a table against the wall with stirrups. And the
mhm,
table, I'm not even the size of a massage table. And the mom is
mhm,
supposed to like, scoot all the way to the edge. And the midwife sits in her chair. And when the baby comes out, the midwife catches.
mhm,
And every room is just like, pass me this, pass me that. Can you give me, um, the sutures? Can you give me the lidocaine? Can you give me this? Can you give me that? And I'm just kind of there like, I wish I could do more for you. Like the mother that was there, the mothers that are there, I wish I could do so much more for you compared to what you're enduring now. So, and then they come back for their appointments. They're 2 week, they're a month, they're 6 month, all that good stuff. And the midwife sees them. Culturally, after the mother and the family has the baby, they go off to the father's family, and the mother-in-law takes care of the baby and the mother, and they don't name the baby yet. So the mother-in-law is the one responsible for naming the baby, the mother-in-law and the father. So there's no name for the baby until the naming ceremony, which I think is about the fourth week after the baby's, no, the 8th day, I'm sorry, after the baby's born. So of
Girl,
course, they,
I have so many questions. That's what I was over here writing down. I have like so many questions. So my first question is home birth encouraged?
no. So it's still a class system here. So
Hmm.
they, if you're having a home birth, you're poor and you don't have access to care. If you're having a hospital birth, you have money. You come from something. You can afford to go to the hospital. And even the hospitals here are different because there's a public sector and a private sector. So the public is funded by the government and the private sector is whoever owns that hospital. And I've been to some of the private ones in my area. Oftentimes there's one OBGYN there to see however many women come in for that day because there's no appointment system. So the moms come in ready for a checkup. They open at 8. Most people are there by 5 and 6 in the morning just trying to be seen at 8 o'clock.
Okay. I mean, for
I know.
me, because of how I'm sure your brain works too, I just see so much need over there to where,
Mhm.
and how, like, if you guys are or have ever considered, and Alexis, I want to leave your email or something because we have it, I have it, but if you are okay with like a certain email specifically dedicated for people to get in touch with you who are looking to come over, see how it is, and see how we can help build their community out there as the NBDA just period, because I just see so much with what's happening here in the US and then the transition and how we can build bridges. So
Yeah,
there is,
yeah.
so because of so it's almost like we are dealing with a system that is, I want to say, like 50 years behind us. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay. 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 Now, what about doctors versus midwives? Like, how prevalent is that?
So most areas have midwives, and then
Okay.
there's like, so it's kind of the reverse of the state. There's a slew of nurses and maybe one doctor or two doctors at the hospital in the state. Here, a slew of midwives and maybe one or two doctors. So the midwives here pretty much are the OBGYNs. They do the maternity care, the perinatal care, the postpartum care, the newborn care, the delivery. They are the bulk of who is handling the birth here in Ghana. Now, the doctor comes in for like a C-section or like to repair, to do an episiotomy or repair a tear. That's what the doctors come in for. But other than stuff like that, the midwives got it all.
Okay. Do the midwives assist in any surgery or any surgical births at all?
The one that I work with, she does assist. One example, a mom that I had was working with that I kind of stepped in to help out. It was time for her to deliver, so she was in the room in the theater, as we call it. She was pushing before it was time to push, so I had to stop her and tell her, Mama, you gotta, do some deep breathing with me. I'm gonna sit here with you. We're gonna, breathe together, but I cannot have you pushing right now because you're gonna hurt yourself, or you might even hurt the baby. So we had to go through that little conversation. And I just sat there breathing with her. But the midwife noticed she was still bearing down. So the midwife here pops her on the arm and is like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And I'm sitting like, "No, this mama just got hit. We gotta talk." So we had a little side conversation like, I'm uncomfortable with that. And I know she's not comfortable with that. She's at her most vulnerable state. You can't treat her like that.
Hmm.
So after that conversation, mom, it was time for her to push. By the time she started pushing, she had torn. So I see the tear and I'm like, okay, well, I'll pass you the sutures. I'll pass you, the things you need because it's all right there in the area. So I just give her everything she asked for. Well, come to find out, mom tore her cervix as well. So the doctor had to come in and stitch her up, and the midwife was assisting in the stitching. So they were kind of doing it together.
Okay, we have a question. Someone asked, "What are the C-section rates?" And then the reason, do they do any like vaginal checks to determine the dilation because the cervix tore Because it sounds like she was pushing prematurely, but we can't be 100% sure without like a vaginal exam.
So the rate for C-section is about 36% here. So and that's just, so it's all of Ghana, but I think for the capital area where I am, it's 24%. That's
And
the
where
last
are
I checked.
you? Wow. Where are you? Across.
Capital city.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as the whole country is 36%, and as far as the capital area is 24%. That's the last time I checked on WHO, which I think was as a result of 2020 reviews.
Okay.
So that's the rate. As far as vaginal checks, everything is like, put your gloves on, let me check. Okay, you're not dilated too far, you can go ahead and go home and then just come back when you feel
Okay.
a little more pregnant.
Okay. Now, what about the usage of technology and the need for technology?
There are some private hospitals that are, I'd say, American standard. They're more in the center city, like the downtown metropolis area. If you're out, like I'm kind of out, like in the States, I'm out in the country, as you will call it. So I'm more rural area kind of. So out here, little to no technology. In the metropolis area, there's a few hospitals that have like that technological it factor. But where I am, everything is mostly manually done. So
Mhm.
hands-on, wife will do her checks, vaginal checks. She measures with, the tape measure to tell how far you are along. There's no like ultrasound sonogram. She has her Doppler. She checks the heart rate. She jots it down. Everything here is put on paper. So you have a paper file of every single thing.
Mhm. Mhm.
I
And
mean,
how about, so the records can get lost?
they can get lost. If it floods, they can get flooded. If the roof caves in, everything is gone. Everything here, minus like those bigger established hospitals, is on paper.
Okay. Um, are they receptive? reading questions too. Are they receptive to doulas being present for the birth and offering that level and layer of support? Because doulas, we come with a vast level of, of educational backgrounds. There are a lot of doulas who are nurses. There are a lot of doulas who came from, your area of social work. There are a lot of doulas who are also, doctors as well. So, and then there are people who come into the field with having no medical background whatsoever. So how receptive are they to being able to expand the level of care that's offered?
Luckily for everyone that I've run into, everyone has been so welcoming and open to my assistance. So the midwife that I volunteer with, literally this is how it went. I found this clinic because when you drive into my community, there's a big sign that says maternity clinic. So one day I drive that way and I see here's a maternity clinic. I literally walked in and was like, hello, my name is Alexis. I'm a doula from the US. I would like to come and support you guys, your midwives or your OBs, wherever you all need support. I would like to come in and assist. Okay, we'll see you Monday.
You was like, what? Wait, what? I thought I was going to
Like,
have a.
background check. Y'all want my number. Y'all want to call some people in the States to make sure I'm not fraud. They was like, we'll see you Monday. And since then, I've been coming every Monday.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, that's good. That's really, really good. So I want to, let me see. Oh, what about breastfeeding? Like, how open are they to breastfeeding and what's that culture like there?
If you're formula feeding, that is the lowest you could do, according to some women. Like breast is best is pushed here, and the mothers believe in it 100%. Even if they don't want to breastfeed, or not if they don't want to, I'm sorry, even if they are having trouble with whether it's latch or they can't, produce enough, they'll ask a family member to breastfeed. Breast is best is the motto. So it's really beautiful to see. Like as soon as the baby comes out, mom is like, "Can you help me latch?" Or if it's time to feed, okay, here I am, and they're feeding. So it's beautiful to see. They'll stop the mom It'll be, you know, at the police station, at the driver's license place. You'll just see breast out breastfeed. So it's beautiful to see, honestly.
And are there a resource of lactation consultants out there?
So I have not met any lactation consultants.
I hope
It's
y'all get
usually
these
the midwife.
questions that I'm asking and she's answering. What I'm doing is I'm sparking the understanding of the need of the level of support that you guys can bring abroad if you are planning to visit Ghana, connect with Alexis, use your skill set in a way in a place where it can be utilized and encouraged. Okay, go ahead, girl.
So it's hard to, because I think America has such a standard, and then like we said earlier, in most African or even, you know, Eastern world countries are just behind so many decades. So here,
Mm-hmm.
the lactation consultant, the birth and postpartum doula, the nutritionist specialist, the everybody is the midwife.
Really? So she's overworked.
All the things. Yes, she's overworked.
Mm-hmm.
And that leads to a lot of the disparities here because
Mm-hmm.
the information rate is like almost 400 per 100,000.
Okay. Okay.
So average every 100,000 women, 400 are, you
Mm-hmm.
know, are going to experience that mortality. And the number
Mm-hmm.
is greater in the capital area.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You would see the opposite in the rural areas where, oh, she had a baby, you know, she was with her family, she was outside or whatever, oh, she passed, and all those things. But it's more so of, like we said, they're overworked. And as a result, the feeling of, oh well, there's another mom coming in, so oh well, we'll
Mm-hmm.
deal with another person.
So,
To
what's the level of education that one needs to be able to fulfill this position as a midwife?
So here, there's actual midwifery school. They have
Mm-hmm.
nursing schools everywhere here. So you
Mm-hmm.
can choose midwifery track. I think it's about a 3-year program here.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay. So, I hope this is helping y'all. And matter of fact, I know it is because how many Black expats do you see over there transitioning, just period?
oh, there's so many. There's an expat community here so large. And there's just a few out in my area because, of course, I don't get out that much because I don't drive. If y'all want to know something about Accra, it is the New York of Africa.
Okay.
Okay, but they those is bad. But when you come to Accra and try to drive, it's not for the faint of heart. So I don't put myself behind the wheel. I don't even drive. My husband drives everywhere. I feel so bad for him sometimes, but I don't go. But
Okay.
I will Uber somewhere. But
Okay. Okay. So let's talk about like just like transitioning the your now we're going to kind of just move the conversation because what I want people to be able to understand, learn, and possibly connect with you and do as you continue to expand. Number one, there's not a demand, but a huge need
yeah,
for just birth services, period. The whole spectrum, the whole gamut. Okay.
yes.
Okay. He was like, yes, child.
The midwife, she's overworked, and for the pay that they receive, because I've talked to quite a few. Because while I'm trying to put my business together, I need to know like what the average Ghanaian family can afford. Like, what is
Mm-hmm.
the average midwife or doula? Even, you know, what do we work for? What's our compensation? And to
Mm-hmm.
know what they're compensated for, the amount of work they have to fulfill, it's it's disgusting.
So can you speak to that a little bit more, please?
So
Because my
here,
understanding, what I see just from YouTube is that this is just YouTube University, y'all. Don't judge me. But um, Accra specifically, the homes are gorgeous. They're expensive. That's just what I'm seeing I mean, I've never been there. So can you speak to the pay rate for birth workers?
so to answer your YouTube University point, the houses are beautiful. They are beautiful. and they're expensive if you are a local, because the US dollar is 10 times their dollar here. So one of our dollars is 10 of theirs. So our dollar so far is unreal. So when you come over here, the average house may be 150,000, and it's like a 5-bedroom, 5-bathroom with a guest bathroom, upstairs, downstairs, all that. That may be nothing for us, because half the time we come here, we've sold everything to get here.
So there's a possibility to see, y'all can't help my brain, y'all. Sorry, Alexis. But it's like my brain was, okay, you can buy a house, and then turned it into a birth center. Like I immediately went there.
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
And there's many houses cheaper than that. But the house that we live in right now, it's a 3-bedroom with an office. The living room is huge. Every room is a master room, so it's an ensuite, is what they call it. So every room has a full bathroom. You have a complete room, there's a dining, kitchen, all that stuff. This house wasn't even 10 grand to rent for 2 years.
Can you just give us, not the exact dollar, because I don't want to get in your business like that, but just give me within a $200 range?
It's
either
like
way.
less than $100 a month to live in almost a
You want to say
home.
that a little bit louder for the people in the back? Let's go start with what you have, and then how much it is. Okay.
So we have a 3-bedroom ensuite. So each one is a master. So a 3-bedroom, office, guest bathroom, huge living room, a foyer area, a complete laundry room on a self compound. So they don't call it like a yard here, compound, because the house is compounded into its own wall and security. And then we have a guest quarters as well. It's not even $500 a month US. So
We
living
just don't let
space,
that.
where people have mortgages almost 1, 2, and 3 grand, here you can take that and buy. Well, here you rent. So when we got here first, we wanted to rent because we want to find out what's the area we need to be in.
Right.
So here you rent for 6 months to a year or 2 years. You have to pay that in advance. So we just paid off in advance for 2 years, because it's not even grand.
Right. So one could go over there, find their rental home, get out there in them streets, connect, and then start providing resources to the families out there. Now, you were speaking to the pay rate of birthing workers in relation to the culture.
Yes,
or the economy. Sorry.
The economy here. So, like I said, one of our dollars US is
Come
10
on,
of theirs.
Right.
Come on in. So one of our dollars is 10 of theirs here. And the rate fluctuates because it is a developing nation and the economy is not settled. So when we first got here in November, it was 6-1. Today, what is it, September, it's 10-1. So it goes back and forth. One day or 1 month, it could be 7-1. The next month, it's 12-1. So you just got to catch that Forex on a good day. But I was talking to a few midwives just to see, if I'm going to provide services and we're going to get grants, I want to know how much to pay the midwives, because it's only fair that if they get paid a certain amount, if we get a grant, we could double it or even triple it, maybe even go further. Right. So I asked just to be, aware. And many of them say anywhere between 2,000 to 3,000 cities, that's the currency here, cities, 2,000 to 3,000 cities a month for a midwife. If you calculate that, I want to say that's I think that was $2,400 for the year. So $2,400 as a midwife for the year on this economy. Now, $2,400, you can rent up a house, but that's not good enough for the work that they're doing. They deserve so much more. Right. They are the midwife. They are the lactation consultant. They are the dietitian. They are everything a mother needs, and they're barely getting $3 grand a year. But with the society here, I can see the correlation, because if you're coming from a different country, it doesn't require much to live here. But if you're on the economy here, it's so expensive.
Right.
So it's a catch-22.
Do you
Well,
have your nonprofit set up? Is there one set up? And if so, is
so
it
we
in the States?
set up an actual business. So we set up where we can allocate funds from
Mm-hmm.
like these here and in the States.
Mm-hmm.
We did so here's an NGO. The nonprofits are NGOs. We haven't set that up yet, just because I don't have the time to right now. I'm doing so
Mm-hmm.
much things, trying to put one business together. I can't do an NGO right now, and then the others, they're all working. I'm the only one that's kind of staying home, so I got all the tasks to do.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't set it up yet, but that is the plan, because for the business, we want the mobile maternity care clinic, and for the NGO, we want to have the maternity home, a postpartum home where we can keep you from the hospital or the birthing center or the maternity clinic for at least 7 to 14 days and help you, especially the younger moms, help you with, lactation, that's, the nutrition, cultural norms, why my baby keep crying, I've been breastfeeding for I don't know how long, he's still crying, those basic things. So opening up like a postpartum home is what we kind of want to do.
Does anyone have any questions for Alexis? So what I'm going to do is, Alexis, when we're done, just email us the relevant information, number one, for people to find you. You guys, please be sure to follow her on IG as well. And then in the description, we are going to put the contact information if you guys are looking to take a trip abroad, just to see how it is. Maybe you're thinking about relocating to Ghana yourself and just want to get a feel of the community out there. At least you have a resource right there. And then my brain is just going, so I'm trying to slow it down in relation to my thoughts. When and should you ever, and I'm decide to add a 501c3 arm to it to be able to like channel the funds to be able to support the mission, let us know, because I potentially have a resource that can help escalate the funding process or the grant process for you. Okay.
Oh, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Does anyone have any questions? Anything? Let me see. I'll make sure I got all my. Okay. I asked about breastfeeding. So the
Oh, and
transition. Go
to
ahead.
add to what you were saying, y'all, if y'all want to come over to Ghana, it is not that expensive. I know it's the continent of Africa, and everybody swears, oh, that's Africa, it's going to be way too much to get here. It is not that expensive. It's not. The same trip you take to Jamaica or to New York or flying to Spain and all these other places, you can get here way cheaper. It's not that crazy of, a deal to get here.
So just
So
could
just
you
putting that in.
expand on that, like for people who are considering like taking a scouting trip over there to see how it is, what was your process like when you did go, and how did you, I mean, you spoke earlier to how you instantly create a community, but as far as like transitioning the dollar, selling everything that you had here in the US, and just that process, and then what is the residency visa thing like over there?
So the process of how we got over here, we actually met our realtors online. She actually had a YouTube channel. She's here and based in Ghana. I think she's from Chicago. But her and her partner are here in Ghana. And she has a YouTube channel, and we found her because she was showing properties, she was showing rentals, she was showing homes that you could buy. So we reached out to her. She had a whole platform, and we did a consultation, and they became the people that were doing the groundwork for us. So sending the scouts out to see what side of town was the best for our budget. We gave her the budget, and she would look based on what we were requesting. And so once we landed, they picked us up from the airport and did everything with us. Got our phone set up, got our hotel stay arranged. We were going to do an Airbnb, but honey, let me tell you, if you know somebody in Ghana, ask them where to stay, because those Airbnb pictures are gorgeous, honey. And when you pull up, It is not the same. It is not the same at all. So she saved us from that. So we were able to get back from the Airbnb, all that good stuff, and we just used it for our hotel. If you're moving here, don't expect this to be a quick transition, because we stayed in our hotel about 2 months before we actually found our home.
Mm-hmm.
And surprise too, if you are renting or buying, if somebody tells you, "Oh, I don't want to rent to you because you're a Bruni," that means American.
What is that? What is that about?
There's this, and not with all Ghanaians and not with all West Africans, but there's this thing where they feel like you're coming from white man's land, which is what they call America. You're coming from white man's land, so you got money, because you wouldn't be here any other way. So, there's O'Rooney taxes, there's O'Rooney, rules, all that kind of stuff.
So it's the same thing like in Latin America or South America, like the gringo taxes and the gringo. Okay.
Just like,
Mm-hmm.
but back to the original question. So once we got here, she did all the groundwork for us. We found our home. We rented it for 2 years, so we're still here for 2 years. We went and, like we talked about, buying a car. In America, the average person cannot just go out to a car lot and say, "I want that one," and drive off, no note, no nothing. Here, there's no real credit system, so everything here this is a cash society. So we literally was like, okay, well, we have money, where can we go? Because like I said, we sold everything: the cars, the house, the furniture within, everything.
I'm in that same process, girl. Trust me, I understand.
We sold it all. Got rid of everything, even the front yard. Got rid of everything. And we got here and just bought a car. We got a big SUV family, and that was it. So there's no note, there's no house note, there's none of that. This is a cash society where once you get here, it's a done deal for whatever you purchase.
So basically, you can help facilitate that whole relocation process for people now that you've gone through it and experienced it yourself. You understand the lay of the land, you have connections out there. So basically, you guys can, if you are interested, so make sure, Alexis, when you give us your preferred contact information, Alexis can be y'all's relocation consultant or specialist. However you want to structure it. I just gave you another. I'm just like, I'm always looking out. I'm always looking out. Okay. But for somebody who is going through the same process myself, it is so important and essential that you have somebody on the ground who knows the lay of the land, who understands the systems, the processes, the culture, like all of that. And before we get off of here, I want to speak to like the food, because I'm a foodie and I think that's really important. It lends to like nutrition and health, and then also culture. Right? I try being a plug, y'all. I do. I think that's why God continues to bless me, because I'll be like, okay, this is who you need to talk to. This is what you need to do. This is how you need to connect. I just do. I don't ever look for being the plug for personal gratification. It's more so God got me, universe got me, creator got me. But okay, so how is the food culture out there in reference to the level, the quality, the freshness, the accessibility? Can you speak to that, please?
So the food here is so good. The food is so good because everything is fresh. So my kids were
Oh, and
lactose.
speak to how your system changed over once you have got rid of the SAD diet, the standard American diet. So that's so important.
Your system will change. Your system will change because what you're eating in America is nothing similar to what you will get here in Ghana. So just to think about the milk that you have in America, it's cow milk, right? The average is cow milk. Here, different process of it, I'm not certain what it is, but when you look at the box, it says UHT, processed milk. It's very different for whatever reason, and I'll do more research about it so I can probably give you some more details on it. But before I got here, my kids were lactose, and I'm talking about can't even look at milk lactose. Here, they drink milk, they eat ice cream, they eat yogurt. It's a different process for every single thing here. Everything is so. When I tell you, when I go get eggs, it's feathers still on the eggs.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
Like, you see the chickens running around, they probably got them from those chickens, but the food is so fresh. The meat you get here, you can tell everything, so they call it halal.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
all fresh, it's all pretty much kosher,
Mm-hmm.
because everything is roaming around. Like, the cows you see roaming the community, those about to be the cows going back to the plant to process. They're feeding them grass, they're not feeding them everything else. Everything here is just so fresh, from the fruits on the fruit stand to the vegetables that you cook with. Every single thing is just delicious.
What about the
Now,
cost of the food?
what about what?
The cost of the food and the accessibility to ease of getting this high quality food.
So, coming from coming from America, everything here is way more affordable.
Mm-hmm.
Like, average in the States, I would say I'm a budgeting person too, so I'm real frugal. So a family of 4 in the States before my baby was born, we were spending, like, I'd say 200, 250 a week, trying
So
to
it's
make
like
sure there was a
so
meal,
about
about in a month, yeah, trying to
mhm.
make sure there was a meal a day, like a whole meal, not just like, okay, here goes some chicken and some rice, but like
Right,
a whole meal to
right.
make sure the family is fed. Here, so I can go 600 CDs per week is about not even $100,
Mm-hmm.
and that's a week of a fresh dinner, breakfast, lunch every day. So it's not even $100. And now it's a family. My baby's here, so it's a family of 5.
Mm-hmm.
You're doing good.
So you were able
It's very
to pay your rent for 2 years. You were able to put, the stress of having to make it in this American society is not as heavy as it was. You guys sold everything. You were able to utilize the funds for that to, fund at least, it sounds like, the first 2 years of your family's life and expand your family and
yeah,
set up shop and get your business going.
and pay for school, because here everything under high school you have to pay for. Once they get to what they call senior high school, which is high school for us, there's no more paying. It's government funded. So from the time your baby's in creche, is what they call like daycare. From the
Mm-hmm.
time they're in to about, what is that, 7th or 8th grade, you're paying for them to go to school. And
Mm-hmm.
some of these charge US dollars. And I mean,
Mm-hmm.
for a school in some of these places is almost 10 grand a year.
Mm-hmm.
And college tuition for some of these kids.
Mm-hmm.
And really, since we're kind of out of the metro area, everything is so much more affordable. Like, we can afford to pay for the entire year instead of like quarter by quarter. We could just do that if he has his full year paid for.
Mm-hmm. So let me get this straight. So not only are Black Americans, I'm just going to speak to Black folks right now, not only are we being policed and killed, but just overall, American society is the food culture is killing us. We're being poisoned and we're being ripped off. I'm just summing everything up, right?
There's a comment right there that just speaks to
I'm
everything I
ain't
just
gonna write
said.
it off. I can tell you everything is cheaper coming from American perspective, but the natives complain
Complain
about
expensive,
how expensive things are.
but
Hmm. Hmm.
that's true. That is so true.
Yeah, but I don't want to. I mean, I definitely agree with that comment, but I also want to give. I don't want to give them the misconception that there isn't, well-to-do people within the country of Ghana. Okay.
Right, right. They definitely are. They definitely are. In our little community where we are, you should see the houses.
Okay.
And just to go with that, I was actually talking to one of the ministers of health here about, like, the work that we're doing. And I mentioned the area where I live, and he was like, "Oh, it's very poor there." And I'm thinking to myself, have you seen the houses, sir? You must mean back when it was a little poor, but as of right now, the houses here are beautiful. The people here are doing very well.
Hmm. So, you guys be sure to follow Alexis, number one, And I am going to make sure that I add all of her contact information should you guys want a point person on the ground, and if you are interested in connecting with her further. And so first of all, I just want to say thank you. You know, you've been an NBDA member for a while. I think you took a break during the transition, but you're back and you're doing amazing things. Should I ever go to Ghana, I know who to call.
Yes, call me.
I know who to call. And when you send over the information that you want us to put in your bio for people to contact you, please send over a list of professions like birth, postpartum, lactation, nutrition, like what it is specific, because not everybody is called to do birth. And not everybody is called to do postpartum, but understanding that the areas are all in need. So if you can just kind of, give us some bullet points to add in there, because we want to make sure that the people who reach out to you can capture what it is the need is for, so we can begin to bridge the gap and then, help the families for, people who are deserving.
Yes, I sure will. I'll make sure I give you all the information.
You want to leave any words of wisdom before we get off of here?
I will say this. You are blessed to be a blessing. Take that and hold near and dear to that. No matter what you have, whether it's material, whether it's information, whether it's knowledge, you are blessed to be a blessing. So whatever you have, continue to give because it's going to make room for you.
I love the comments. You guys have been so great in the comments. Thank you guys for the hearts, the fire, the hundreds. We love that. And it's just so encouraging. Thank you for the beautiful start to the week. You are welcome. And I hope that this kind of sparks some energy and some thought, because I don't want us to be able to think that we are pigeonholed into a society that is basically, to me, undeserving of Black people. They just don't deserve us, let alone Black women. Okay. All right. So the more we can kind of branch out and you can still move in ease, but answer your calling, whatever that may be, please do so. And know that you don't have to experience the stressors of this society. Alexis is a beautiful example. She did it, you guys, and she's doing it, you guys, and she is making a difference, and she can give you guys the how-to steps. You can connect with her, and she can serve, hopefully, as your relocation specialist, even if for a scouting trip. She can hopefully set that up for you guys. To be able to take the leap. Trust me, the hardest part is making the decision to do so. Once you have made the decision, everything falls in place. The shit gets easier and easier. And trust me, I know, because I'm doing it myself. I will be in Mexico on Sunday for the next 6 weeks, finalizing where we're going to live, because we are breaking up with the U.S. over here. And I'm not about Black women stressing no more. I'm about, like Alexis has done. She is moving in ease. She is supporting others in her calling. She can tell you how to structure your finances. She can tell you how to declutter, because she did it. Decluttering is a process within itself. When I tell y'all, you will be surprised at the shit you have accumulated that means nothing and holds no value. Girl.
My garage was full of stuff that I didn't even think I still had.
And she sold it all. And I mean, and just be able to just move and live and do the way that she has. So I'm so proud of you. You're so encouraging, even for myself, just to see it. It's always great to see it. Once we see somebody that looks like us, because representation matters, we know it's possible for us. Okay, and you too can be a part of the mass Black exodus that's happening and still answer your calling. And actually, because you don't have the weight of this society on you, your clarity is better, your projection is better, your thought process is better, you're energized, and you can do more. We're going to put all of her, she'll unblock her account. But we're going to put all of the resources to connect with Alexis, you guys, in the bio. once the video uploads. So I know Alexis, she'll send over the email immediately. We'll copy and
Okay.
paste and make sure that we get it up. So by the time this video is finished uploading, Alexis will have the information over to us.
Right.
Okay. And yes, you guys connect. That'll be so good. That'll be so good. Thank you so much, Alexis. This was so great and such a
Thank you.
ton of resources.
Thank you.
And just keep me posted.
I
Just
will.
just continue to like keep me posted. Okay. And if I know anything or anybody who can help drive or facilitate things a little bit more, then I will definitely be sure to connect you.
Okay.
Okay.
And everybody that's watching, I am setting up a Kickstarter. It's like a GoFundMe. Because
Mm-hmm.
apparently, for some reason, GoFundMe wanted to be down when I wanted to set up a campaign. So I got a little vengeance with GoFundMe. But Kickstarter is another crowdfunding source. So I will
Mm-hmm.
share that with you also.
Yeah.
So if anybody, I don't care if it's $1 or $5, every little bit will help.
Mm-hmm. To help those families out there and to build that community. So thank you so much, Alexis, and everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. And you guys have a great day. Bye, Alexis.
Bye. Take care.
You too.